100. No, that's not what Kayla scored on every high school test.
It actually is.
It probably is. I bring up 100 because this is our 100th episode.
Very exciting. I cannot believe we have talked at you 100 times.
Kayla, we've talked with them. We are spiritually connected to you. We have a special episode for our 100th. We have new segments. We're bringing in Morning Brew talent. And might I add, we just have a dang fun time. You're going to love it. Let's get into it.
All right, Kyle, we've got a lot to get into today, so why don't we start with this new segment you want to bring in?
Yes, I am introducing a new segment. The people have demanded it. That, I mean, I thought of it roughly 3 hours ago.
Okay.
It is called News You Can Use, where Kayla and I look at recent headlines, and we have a little tactic at the end for you, something that you can do with the news.
Okay.
News you can use.
All right, this is news to me.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yep.
Nice pun. So, article number 1, Inc.com by Bruce Crumley. Thank you, Bruce. Headline, scientists identified a hidden cause of workplace burnout. Most employees do it daily. Dun, dun, dun. Great headline there by Inc.com.
A hidden cause of workplace burnout.
Yes, I got one. That's clickbait that delivers. You want to know what it is.
I do want to know what it is.
My question to you, what do you think that thing is?
Oh, okay. So it's a thing that you do every day that is causing workplace burnout?
Yes.
And, okay, I'm going to go with working.
By God.
Studies show.
That is what scientists found. I say this all the time, but I actually think we did solve it. We've solved workplace burnout.
Yeah. Stop working.
No, what they actually found is something called surface acting, which we talked about in a recent episode, which is basically where you have, it was like dealing with workplace emotions and dealing with emotions at work. We did a recent episode on this. Check it out. And what they found is that surface acting is the thing that is a hidden cause of burnout, which is you have these genuine feelings about something that's happening at work, and instead of like dealing with them or explaining them in a valid way or getting them out there, you kind of stuff them and you act how you think you ought to be acting at work.
Okay.
And so you're never actually true to yourself, and you do that enough and you get drained, you don't want to show up to work, and it causes burnout. So you should not do surface acting. You, in fact, should just get deeper, more in touch with your emotions.
Sounds great. That feels like news I can use.
That is news you can use. We're 1 for 1. Next headline. This was in Sherwood by Hyunsu Rim. The headline says, younger companies and leaders embrace more remote work. Study finds. Studies are always finding.
Studies do be finding.
They looked at the data from the National Bureau of Economic Research, and what they found is that companies founded in 2015 or later are 2 times more likely to be work from home friendly than companies founded before this. They also saw that CEOs who are under 30 grant on average their employees 1.4 work from home days a week, and CEOs who are above 60 grant their employees 1.1 work from home days a week. Although when they equalize this by firm size, that age gap disappeared. So it really is just about the age of the company. Kayla, reactions?
Yeah, I think this is not surprising to me at all. This just like inherently makes sense. Like a company that's newer has more flexibility. They have probably fewer people working generally. And then they also have like more comfort with newer workplace trends. So of course they're like, yeah, sure, work from home, versus a company that's been around for 150 years. They're kind of like, this is how we've been doing it.
Hermes is like, what is
you kind of got to come in.
What is the internet?
It's famous.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like this should have been in the like Journal of Common Sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I get it, and I understand. I think what is interesting though is the last little bit, which is like the age of the CEO does have an impact, but it also is more related to the age of the company.
Firm. Exactly. Yeah. That feels to be the driving indicator. So I guess the news you can use is if you want to work from home more, you should find a company that's more recent. If that's news to you, you haven't been listening per my last email enough, go back and listen to the archives. Last headline from the news you can use. This was in the Wall Street Journal from Callum Borchers, and the article was The Secret Edge of the Office Rock Star Skier. And this article is super fascinating. Go check it out. Basically, ski resorts are hosting company offsites and retreats more now than in the previous years. And so people are going skiing more with their colleagues, and some people are like cracked skiers. They are so good that they're impressing their peers, and it's giving them more professional opportunities. They're literally quoting people who are like, yeah, I crushed at skiing. And then so the CTO and me were hanging out in the hot tub, and he was like, you're such a good skier.
What?
And it like led to professional development. Basically, if you're really good at the things that your company does at offsites, people respect you more. And skiing is in vogue now, I guess.
That makes sense. To me, it sounds like the same thing as like golf, which is just like time spent.
Literally.
Like if you're good at golf, then people are going to invite you to their golf trips and their like golf outings, and then you're going to get to spend time with clients and all that.
I would say I think it's a little deeper than that.
Really?
Like, I feel like if you go, it could be bowling, for example. Like Morning Brew did a trip to the bowling alley like a few years ago for a company fun time. And anyone who's like really good at something, even if it's totally unrelated to their job, I'm like, I didn't know you could bowl like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like somehow I'm like, you're cooler than I thought.
Yeah.
There is something about just like seeing someone
like
be
a street
excellent
cred
that like gives
thing.
you some more aura at work, Kayla.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what would the random company outing be that you would be exceptional at that would give you this kind of new professional luster?
Random company outing is hard because I'm not like
what would you like the activity to be?
Yeah, I'm not like a skilled sportsman or something. Like, so that's hard to be like, whoa, she's so good at horseback riding, because I'm not. But I do have one, which is charcuterie board making. I think I'm very impressive at that.
I could personally vouch for this.
Yeah, I'm making every single component. Crackers handmade, focaccia handmade. I'm like boiling the berries in the back to like make the jams. Like I've got every element locked down, and I think if my coworkers saw that, they'd be like, "Damn, she knows what she's doing."
So what you're saying is basically, if Morning Brew Inc. started doing more company picnics,
I'd be
you would crush. Like that would be your zone of genius.
100%.
All right,
What's yours?
We can try to make that happen. Mine is the board game Risk.
Really?
I'm excellent at that game. I literally played it nonstop growing up.
Okay.
The board game and the digital version 24/7.
I've never played.
I'll kick ass. I'll kick anyone's ass at Risk.
That's fun.
That's unlikely to pop up at a workplace
Yeah,
setting.
and unlikely to be impressive. I feel like I'd be like, damn, he's playing a lot of Risk. Like
it's like, oh, you got good at that?
Yeah, like this is what you chose to hone your skills at?
All right, so basically Kayla's going to crush and I'm going to be a loser at work.
I think so.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
The other one, I'm pretty good at trivia.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a really solid core team contributor at trivia. So any trivia related things, I think I could.
I think
I got the juice a bit. At
yeah,
trivia.
I'm pretty good. I've done enough reps with the Morning Brew Daily trivia games too.
Yeah.
So, anyways, interesting.
There, picnics and trivia, and we'll just have to get good at skiing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Not scary at all. All right, so let's do our next segment.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah.
All right, so we have been talking at you for 100 episodes from our solidly millennial perspective.
Yes.
We decided it's unfair to just hear from us. We also wanted to get maybe a more youthful perspective on what's going on in the office. A cooler
perspective,
exactly.
more hip.
More hip, more fun. So we've brought in our Gen Z correspondents, Meg and Annie. You may recognize them from the internet. They're on, obviously, all of our socials, the Morning Brew socials.
They're
we
much more famous than us.
Of course. As is everyone else in the company.
That is true.
But we have a couple questions about the Gen Z perspective at work, so let's get into it.
Yeah, Meg and Annie, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Glad to be here.
For my last email, I love talking to you guys.
Thank you, and thanks for calling in from the local Marriott as well. Thanks for finding time. So, first question for you, and you are representing all of Gen Z. You are,
of course,
no pressure.
You've been elected.
Yeah. I'm happy. Yeah.
A recent Deloitte study found that only 6% of Gen Z say their primary professional goal is reaching a leadership position. Do you agree with that? And if not, what do you think the primary professional goal of Gen Z is?
I think that's awesome.
Wow. That's great.
I think that's actually so awesome.
Good.
6% say they want to do leadership.
I would like to say I'm one of those 6%. So, president of Morning Brew, I am so excited to be a leader within the company.
So we have maybe two divergent perspectives here.
Did that answer your question?
Well, I'm trying. You mentioned what do we think the primary profession is? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think maybe Gen Z has a a love of the arts about them that I could see a lot of people being like, I might want to go to leadership, but less like, I want to do a business and more like, what can I do? Whether it's like your own business or like working for yourself.
Yeah. And a lot of us majored in film studies. So with that in mind,
of you, really.
Right. It's 98%.
It's 98%. And that's from a Deloitte study. It's from that same Deloitte study.
That is true.
So with that in mind, I think most of us want to make A24 films.
Yeah.
And if that means we have to work an office job to do that, sure.
Okay.
You know?
I love A24, so that actually is great news.
Yeah.
Should we move to question 2?
Let's move to question number 2. All right, 40% of Gen Z.
That was only question number 1. That's tough.
40% of Gen Z say that they feel stressed or anxious all the time per Deloitte. Maybe it's that same study. So, Meg, Annie, what stresses you out?
Sorry, only 40%?
Only 40%.
All the time. Feel stressed or anxious all the time.
The other 60% is on Lexapro.
I think maybe like, I'll never own a house.
Yeah. Massive amounts of debt from college. Yeah. Yeah.
Landlord emailing me all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's
I think late capitalism and the narrowing field of success, if you would.
And it's because only because 6% of us want to be leaders.
You know what?
If we could get that to 60, I think things would change.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's question number 3.
Question number 3. So you hear often, I think just in general, people really struggle with screen time. And I feel like there's just a general acceptance that like being on social media too much, pretty toxic, not good for your mental health. You two are super impressive creators who I imagine basically have to live on social all the time. Like you're creating content for social. So how do you, if you do, find the balance, or are you just chronically online? What advice do you have for people who are trying to find that balance?
Well, up your screen time more. Don't worry about it.
We all have to go around
long enough. There is something special there. So
what are your guys' screen time?
You know, that we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, the interview's over.
That's fine.
Interview's over.
Interesting.
I think I'm an average between 5 and 6.
I don't even know mine.
Okay.
That, can I say, Caleb?
You definitely do. That is
I genuinely don't.
I've hit bad moments. I think that.
What's the max that you've hit for a week?
Well, I don't know.
Like over the course of a week.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think that I average closer. I stopped looking because honestly, also that is part of it. Is my job is to be on my phone sometimes. Like, there is actually, I think, something with. Totally, I think it's fine if you're like, I want to cut out social media. That's what I've decided to do. I don't want to be on my phone, and I do think that's good. I think there's like multiple studies about gaining cognitive function back if you're off your phone. However, it feels like I'm missing out on like the town square and like what everyone's talking about. So especially trying to make stuff that's like feels like plugged in and connected and culturally like connected to my fellow peers in the world, not just Gen Z, but everyone. It feels like I need to know what's going on social media. Yeah. Which is why it is tough because I'm on my phone all the time. I do think that I think my average is 7 hours, but I stopped looking because it was just like, I try to be off my phone, but I can't time. I can't do the time thing because I have to be on for work.
So my suggestion is, as someone who is a creator, is find someone who's more online than you and ask them questions about it. Which is what I do with Meg. Who's the little monkey everyone was talking about? Yeah. See, exactly. I see
too many Punch videos because it reminds me of my cat Sleepy.
And it's just too
sad. And it does make me too sad.
Yeah.
I would say actually that is a good point. Yeah. And unfortunately, I have become that person.
Meg, it's an act of service to be the one who has the most screen time. So thank you.
You're putting the work
for that
in.
effort. We have to move to our game now.
Okay.
So the game is called, and I came up with this name. Kayla did not. I know it's cringe.
That was the condition upon which we played this game. Was I needed everyone to know that I didn't name it.
It's called Slay or Nay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure that was genuine, but it felt really good to see that. Thank you.
That was me.
Boots.
That was
so the game rules. We are going to present you a workplace behavior, and you're going to tell us if it's a slay or if it's not good. Slay or nay.
Okay. Okay.
Situation number 1, taking meetings at your desk.
Slay.
Nay.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm so sorry.
Slay because I can listen in to those meetings.
The issue is someone's going to be on their meeting, right? And I'm across from them.
Yeah.
And they're going to unmute and they're going to go, yeah, this is this. I'm across the desk going, what'd you say? You're talking to me?
Yeah.
She does have a problem with that.
Yep.
It's a problem.
What's the problem we've all been talking about?
I think I'm a nay. I don't think I would be really like that. Like if I had a neighbor who was constantly doing it, I don't think I'd be like, you have to stop. But I think I would be like, whoa, what if you went into a phone booth? Or...
Yeah. Okay.
Good advice.
Noted. Okay, number 2, slay or nay, being too casual in the main Slack channel.
Slay.
Nay. Nay.
Slay.
Nay.
Guys, we're just people on this earth, and we
No.
We shouldn't have to know who we are at the
Here's
office.
the thing.
Aside from a little bit, if I don't like what you're doing,
I was about to say,
stop that.
The problem is that you are thinking what you do in the main office channel, which is
funny
and tasteful.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not tasteful, but funny. What other people do in the Slack channel is like, why did you send that to me? This feels like this is not an HR violation, but could become one because I don't like your vibe.
So I think the thing with that is I'm like, let's start a little drama. Let's get it going.
Let's get it spicy in here. Yeah.
Let's get it spicy in here.
You either send something and I'm like, oh my God, you're so fun.
Yeah.
Like, let me that whatever. Or
Let me upload
something.
that?
You said
Oh my
something
God.
so sorry.
Blackmoji responsive.
You send something so criminal. I now have something to talk with about my other coworkers.
Yeah, that's true. That is
Bonding
I will say.
opportunities.
Yeah.
We need a common enemy.
Yeah.
All right, I think the slays have it for question 2.
That's true.
Number 3, posting on LinkedIn.
Nay.
I don't think we need to say anything else
Top
about
L
that.
for Kyle.
I agree with that. That's a
I'm
nay.
sorry.
I actually think that this one's so personal.
Just go all the way in today. Don't backtrack.
No. Not as like this one's personal to me, but more of like this is so like person by person. And sometimes when you look at a LinkedIn post, you can tell if someone is like, hey, I want to share this. I believe in this. This is like helpful. Or if someone's like kind of playing the game.
Yeah.
Like I can tell that person's playing the game. I love casual.
Yeah, what's your intention?
And I'm back on, I love some casual posting on LinkedIn. However, sometimes it gets too casual.
Yeah.
I think LinkedIn is weird and I haven't totally figured out exactly what vibe I think should be there.
Yeah.
And sometimes people post on LinkedIn and I'm like, you're a LinkedIn poster and you're killing it and that's good. But other times I see people post on LinkedIn and I'm like, you're a faker. And
it's when you have hate in your heart.
Authenticity is key. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You can just tell.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Meg, Annie, thank you so much for coming on as our Gen Z correspondents. We super appreciate it. I think we've solved generational strife.
Yes.
I think we did. I think we did.
Hand across the aisle.
And you know what? It's beautiful that for the Gen Z correspondents, we started this an hour later than we were supposed to. And I think that's beautiful.
And that is beautiful.
The most Gen Z thing you can do. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll say it was me.
No, we're a team. We're a team. If one of us is late, both of us are late.
And we'll be right back after this. Okay, back to the show.
So we just heard from 2 Morning Brew correspondents, but guess what? We're not done yet. You heard me right. We're bringing in the goat of goats, Neil Fryman, original Morning Brew newsletter writer, now one of the co-hosts of Morning Brew Daily Show. You know, our podcasts are about the same reach. A really great colleague and great friend. And we have a special segment called Neil's Numbers. Take a listen.
Hey, Kyle and Kayla, congrats on 100 episodes. Just remember me when you become famous LinkedIn influencers. Here is a fun work trend that I've been following, Skillcations. In Hilton's 2026 Trends Report, 72% of people said they want to take time off from their jobs to explore a personal passion, skill, or hobby. And according to the booking platform Get Your Guide, more Americans said they prefer to come back home with a new skill than a physical souvenir from their trip. It's especially popular with younger employees. More than 1/3 of Gen Z said they want to learn a new hobby on vacation, while the site saw a 66% rise in workshop bookings last summer compared to the year before. Hospitality companies are seizing on the opportunity. Airbnb launched an experiences feature last spring to help travelers level up, while hotels in places like Sea Island, Georgia offer classes such as mastering the art of falconry. Whether it's learning how to surf, cook, weave, birdwatch, do yoga, tourists seem to be shifting away from the pina colada-stained beach read and toward adventures that will have them coming home as a better version of themselves. Eat, Pray, Love is now Eat, Pray, Grind.
Eat, pray,
That's
grind.
amazing. I got to be honest, I still love my pina colada stained beach read.
You didn't have to throw out the pina coladas.
Yeah, I got to stray there.
You could do pina colada yoga. Like,
yeah,
we could combine the two. I got to get an Eat, Pray, Grind shirt.
That is so funny. I think we should trademark that.
I think we got to.
Next generation.
We'll give Neil some credit. Thank you, Neil, for Neil's numbers.
Yes.
Kayla, what is your Skillcation take? Are you going to take a Skillcation, or are you still team vacation?
Yeah, I'm both. I mean, I totally understand. I think like having a story associated with a vacation is so fun. But like, I don't know, if it's 4 days, I don't want to spend those 4 days learning how to basket weave. Like, I'd rather just like see the sights and like go hang out by the beach. I don't know. What do you think?
So you're leaning more towards vacation.
Yeah.
Well, first, I am team Skillcation.
Okay.
But I will say the one thing that resonated the most in what Neil was saying is the damn souvenirs.
Yeah, too many.
Someone has to stop this. I don't know if it's more tariffs on souvenirs. I don't know if the UN has to get involved. Souvenirs. But like, I do not need one more shot glass from a random city in Czechoslovakia. I don't need it. Stop buying them for me. Everyone stop buying them. So I like that. Like, lean more into an experience. You don't need to buy something that you're going to forget about in 2 weeks.
I agree with that.
I like the Skillcation because it feels more cultural. Like, you're actually going to engross yourself in what that area is known for. I think you walk out with a skill that you didn't have before, which is will help you for the rest of your life. And I can imagine, say you know, we were joking, like go to Italy and learn how to make pasta, which is like everyone's top one.
Yeah.
Every time you make pasta, it's you'll remember that trip. And so it kind of links.
When a Nona taught you how to make a tortellini.
And you'll tell every one of your friends the story every single time until they hate you. So I think there's something cool about it. So I am team Skillcation.
So what is your Skillcation, ideal Skillcation?
So I love walking everywhere. And just like being out and exploring cities. The one downside of walking is it's quite slow. So a bike is really helpful too. I love city biking around New York because you can see more things, but it's still active. You're still outside.
Sure.
So I would love to get really into like biking long distances and like learn all of the special biking moves and like how the bike works and like fix my own bike. So I would do a biking trip in France and kind of do a little mini Tour de France.
Yeah.
Kyle's version. That sounds really lovely to me.
That sounds really nice. I guess that kind of technically falls under the Skillcation. It's not like a local skill that you're learning, but it is a skill on vacation.
And it feels like Europeans bike more.
Sure. Yeah. Very, very Dutch of you.
Yeah.
I have one too, because thanks for calling me out on my Italy pasta journey. But my ideal Skillcation would be to go to Brazil and learn how to samba.
Ooh.
That shit's hard. So I think that would be really fun. And
that is a dance?
It's a dance, but it's a lot of like quick steps.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, if you're bad at it, it looks pretty like, you know, like 2-year-olds trying to dance for the first time, like just stomping around. So I think that would be really fun. And then like think about how cool you would look at parties, you know?
That is true. That would be a great skill to come home with. I'll give a little lore to you, the listener. Me and Kayla will be in Brazil together.
Yeah, it's true.
Later this year for a friend's wedding who's getting married in Brazil, and she's originally from Brazil. So I will try to get Kayla to samba there, and maybe we'll have to share that with the audience.
We'll get back at that, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say overall Skillcations are in. Neil, thanks for the great Neil's numbers.
So in honor of our 100th episode, we wanted some feedback. We've gotten plenty of feedback from the listeners from you, but we decided let's go to the top. So we asked Kate Noel, our head of people operations and host of HR podcast People Person, to give us a podcast performance review. Let's take a look.
Hey, Kate. We're excited. I think we're excited for our performance review. You never know how these ones are going to go, but we're excited to chat with you.
No, of course. Thank you so much for accepting my calendar invite. Not that you had a choice, but it's great that these things have allowed you to exist for 100 episodes. And honestly, performance reviews are my thing. And the fact that you are across my screen with every sticker of every show besides mine, which is People Person, we're off to a great start.
I have yours just a little lower on my computer. I promise.
Okay, have that noted.
Yeah, write that down.
Okay, for sure. Let's go ahead and kick off with our first question, if you're ready.
Yes.
So I'll give this to you, Kayla, actually.
Okay.
What accomplishment this year from the podcast are you the most proud of and why? And once you answer, we'll get Kyle the chance as well.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for that question, Kate. I think what I'm most proud of is the emails we've been getting from listeners. I think, you kind of, when you're talking into the void, it's just that. You're not getting instant feedback. And so it's actually been really lovely to get feedback, even if it's like neutral to negative. It's been really fun to see what people are thinking about what we're saying. And the fact that we've like potentially actually helped people's careers has been really motivating.
And most feedback is positive. I want the record to reflect on our performance review. Most feedback is positive. Mine, that is a great answer. I have really liked some of our episodes that I think were a little off the beaten path of like normal career tactic podcast. I'm thinking of our introvert and extroverts at the office episode. Like, you just don't see that type of content often from like more like career guidance podcasts. We got so much good feedback from that. It was a really fun conversation, and also kind of opens the door for me and Kayla to talk more about our own personality styles and our own life, which I think is really rewarding. So that was something I was really proud of.
And you're confident about these answers?
Extremely confident.
Yes. Lock it in.
That's a shame. Okay, next question. And to anyone who wants to jump in first, perhaps that could speak to a bias to action, whoever answers it.
Ooh,
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first.
So then, if that's the case, if you volunteer as tribute, Kyle, how would you describe your co-host's communication style?
Ooh,
Let's hear it.
time for your performance review. I would say it's clear. It's a little dry, but parentheses in a good way.
Okay.
Like you don't get overly excited. You're not super excitable.
Sure.
But I would say because of that, when you do, it really hits.
Right.
And I think that's a key strength of Kayla's communication style. Like she gets going. I saw her once point at her eyes and then point at the camera.
Look at me. Zoom in, please. Your company hates you.
Kayla. It was crazy. And you know that's going to be a banger social clip when she gets locked into that state. So I'd say for the most part, clear, dry, parentheses in a good way, with the right amount of excitability when necessary.
Interesting. Okay.
And
I would describe Kyle's, thank you for that, as direct and urgent.
Ooh.
I feel like you get to the point, you say what you mean, you're not like gonna kind of walk around the point that you have.
Okay. All right.
And I think once you communicate something, you have expectations of both understanding and response. So it's like, you're like, I just said what I mean. Why wouldn't you just say what you mean back? And I think that requires of other people to kind of like step up their game when they're chatting with you, which I think is a very good skill.
Wow, look at that.
That was nice.
So thoughtful.
I was nice with that one.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at these co-hosts.
these are great. That was a perfect textbook example of great peer feedback and review.
Okay,
This could
nice.
be a case study. That could be a case study.
They should.
Oh, well, since you guys are so nice, let's talk about growth opportunity. So,
Oh gosh.
Kayla, what's a
Yeah.
growth opportunity that you think Kyle can have as
Okay.
your co-host?
Genuinely, I think that a really good growth opportunity for Kyle is to experiment with relinquishing control.
Ooh. Wow, we went. This is even. I don't think she's talking about the podcast.
No, of course. It's only about the podcast. No, but I think it's like because, he has that direct and urgent communication style, when he's like, why wouldn't we just do this? It's like hard for him to be like, okay, let's step back and allow other people to cook, And because he's so good at what he does, it's like easy for him to just do it. So anyways, that is what I would say is a growth opportunity for you.
Gotta let the team cook. That was very nice. Great feedback. Growth opportunity for Kayla. She
what it
predicted
is.
this.
I know what it is.
She's got to get live on LinkedIn.
I know.
We need to see some more social posts. You know, that's the game of the podcast. That's how you grow the podcast. We need her out in the trenches with me. I'm here liking my own posts.
It's true. It's very embarrassing.
You know how sad that is?
It's very embarrassing.
You know how sad that is?
Yeah.
That's why I need Kayla to step up her game at least once a week.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kayla, how do you receive that?
I am not surprised. I knew it was coming. This is a constant conversation. I'm getting this feedback, I would say at least monthly. I'll do it. 2026. I'll be in that LinkedIn. I'll be posted.
Okay, well, have that as part of your goals. We love an action plan from performance review. So, okay, cool. And are there any grievances? Again, this is a safe space. It's not. I mean, it's a safe space. And so, if there is any grievances, things you just want to formally submit to HR during this performance review, I would like to be the person with my notebook and AI in this recording to really take that all in, because it's important that you feel heard. And that's for either of you at any given time.
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
I'll go first.
Seems like he's excited about that.
Well, is this the direct and urgent that you were referring
Yes, this is the direct and urgent. I would like to just say I've no grievances at all. I think Kayla is a superb co-host, colleague, friend,
Now, this is
mentor.
This is bullshit.
I would say maybe the most important person in my entire life. So,
right.
Kayla, any grievances on your end?
Yes, I have grievances.
Okay. One second before you. I just need to write down. So Kyle's a liar. Okay. Yes. If you may, Kayla.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being set up to fail in this instance, because Kyle now looks very nice, very happy, very polite. But I do
Just
have a
speaking
grievance.
the truth.
So we take notes ahead of the podcast, and we bring our notes into the studio.
Okay.
And I have my notebook that I love, that I write on. What does Kyle bring? A sheet of computer paper.
Printer paper.
Printer paper.
It's free at the office.
And he just writes on it, vibes forward, and it really stresses me out.
Grievance accepted, and I'll do my best to figure this out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Again, Kayla, I'm really proud of your courage to share
very
that
courageous.
in real time. It's not easy to speak of the things that hurt on the inside, and making yourself vulnerable in a review is really important.
I thought my answer was a little sweeter.
Whatever.
Depends who you ask. Anyway, well, that brings us to the end of our meeting. I'm so glad we had the chance to talk. Kyle, again, thanks for wasting paper at the office. But it's not. We'll catch you guys at the next office.
Sorry, we have one question.
I think you were supposed to tell us if we were getting our raise.
Are we getting a raise, a promotion?
In this economy?
All right. Well, Kate,
Great.
we'll see you next year.
All right.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Kate.
It's so funny to me because we recorded this like 2 weeks ago and I've like fully forgotten about it.
I was like, we did that?
It's so funny. I would also like to note, look, I have my nice notebook, and look at Kyle's disgusting printer paper. I stand by it.
That looks like some great notes to me. I did vow that I would make an attempt to remedy this situation. Now that this episode is aired, I'm going to bring a journal into this.
Keep an eye on this space.
I'm going to keep an eye on this space. It's a very important space. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get a raise.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was tough to hear live. So sponsors, we really appreciate you. So keep sponsoring the podcast. But I am looking forward to the next 100 episodes with you.
Me too. This was really, really fun. I like that we were able to have the, MB talent come through and kind of help us with our 100th episode. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Michaela might have a special final clip for us.
A little sizzle reel to play us out.
Is that right?
That is correct. However, before we play that, I want to say, if you have an idea for our 101st, 102nd, 103rd episode, per my last email at morningbrew.com. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of the podcast. We're excited for 100 more episodes, and the sizzle reel can play us out. I want to, and I'm gonna hold you too.
It's so much worse when you're singing and it goes directly into my ears.
I don't want another pretty
No, I can't do this
I don't want just anyone to hold.
I've heard this song so many times over the past few years.
I want you and your beautiful soul.
Can we talk about AI now, please?
There is a difference between like worker and employer desires. Workers want to be like close to 3 days. Work from home. Employers want them to be close to 2.
I'm sorry. It's so funny that we look identical.
This is.
I can't. I just can't stop laughing.
This is the most embarrassing.
This is horrifying. What the hell?
I love this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening at all.
No, that was obvious.
I'm going to get canceled. No, I don't think
I'm
so.
going to get canceled.
The LinkedIn bros are going to come for me.
There's no LinkedIn bros.
Yes, there are. Are you kidding me?
No, there's no LinkedIn bros.
What do you mean there's no LinkedIn bros?
They're thought leaders, Kayla.
Defined by
They're
bros.
thought leaders.
It's a stupid.
You will respect them as such. You want to grow in your career at your company, but like you're figuring out like, is what I'm doing going to work? And some of the like red flags that if you start seeing, you're like, oh yeah, definitely getting taken advantage of. What are you smiling about?
Just your Minnesota accent.
Red flags.
It's so funny.
The flag.
Yeah.
Bag. Hello. Milk.
That's disgusting.
Our producer is Michaela Heck.
Our technical director is Uchenna Ojo.
Jacob Smith is our sound engineer.
And our president is Devin Emery.
This show is a production of Morning Brew.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you for the next 100 episodes.